is excited to welcome patients of all ages. We provide family care, dentures, and wisdom.
Welcome to This Week in the Peace, a show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace region. Here's your hosts, Dub Craig and Steve Berard.
Welcome to This Week in the Peace. Later in the show, I'll be chatting with the president of the Stage North Theatre Society about an upcoming production and some auditions beginning next week.
Yes, but first, the Purple Night Lights campaign is a new initiative coming to Fort St. John, all about shining a light on intimate partner violence. So to tell us all about this new initiative, I'm joined now by organizers Constable Chad Neustaeter with the Fort St. John RCMP and Estefania Albornoz of the Fort St. John Women's Resource Society. Good morning to you, Steph.
Good morning.
And good morning to you, Constable Neustaeter.
Good morning.
Thank you both for being here today. I'm going to get you on camera now. All right, to have you both here, let's talk about what this is. First of all, this Purple Light Nights campaign. Where did it come from? Where did the idea from this come from?
So during COVID, there was a lot of things that happened. One of the things that, from a police perspective, is that I saw intimate partner violence appear to be on the rise. Mm-hmm. Through that time, it came onto my heart. I'm also a media relations officer, and I wanted to potentially try and do something with it or about it. I ran into what was called Purple Light Nights, and it is a intimate partner violence awareness campaign for the month of October. And it was something that was on my mind. I hadn't seen done in our community. And I thought it was something that potentially I could spearhead and partner with people to bring. And then there happened to be a file last year where I was photographing somebody, a victim of intimate partner violence, and it just really shook me. I wanted to do something about this. And I felt like I waited long enough. I think I can do this. I wanted to partner with people in the community, and over the past year, since January, that's what we've been working towards, is bringing this awareness campaign to Fort St. John for the members of Fort St. John, for the community of Fort St. John, and just to raise awareness, but to also give voice.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Steph, your work with the Women's Resource Society, and what the Women's Resource Society really does is helping women in crisis and women with families. So I imagine a lot of your clients are going through some intimate partner violence, and you see this happen a lot with the people who come through to get some help from the society, correct?
Yes. Well, one of our biggest programs is Sky's Place, which is second stage housing for women escaping violence and their kids. But violence has no gender. That intimate partner violence can happen women and men. And it's important to raise awareness because usually, I have some data here,
Please.
67% of women will enter counseling and do the work to stop the cycle of violence, but only 2% of men choose to participate in counseling. So it's a two-way thing. Both, like all the genders should be involved and be talking about this and looking for help if they need that. And violence can look differently. It's not only physical. It can be economical. It can be psychological. So it's important to recognize it, talk about it, look for help, and avoid those horrible endings in society.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we can think of many stories where we hear, people we know, stories that have been in the news where, it kind of ended in the worst possible way for people in our community. But I think part of this, tell me if I'm wrong, is sort of about almost prevention awareness, right? How you can stop it from happening in the first place, and not just to providing support for people who are victims of or who are going through it and to get out of it, but to stop it from happening in the first place. That's kind of a big part of this too, I think, right?
It definitely becomes a byproduct of it. There's sort of three prongs of what Purple Light Nights tries to accomplish. The first is to honor those who've lost their lives through domestic violence, through intimate partner violence. The second one is to support survivors, and then also to give hope to those that are still living through abuse. But taking those things, that would be the byproduct of, we would love to prevent it, right? Like ultimately, that's the goal. I was asked at City Council, is the on the rise? And I said, well, even if it is, what I should have said is, even if it is, one is too many.
That's
And
right.
if we can decrease it by one, that's even better, right? One at a time. And to let people know too, they're not alone, right? It is something that happens in private usually, and that's what makes it difficult. But to let them know that they're not alone and that they can reach out for help. And even in that, what are tools to, like you said, prevent it? Yes.
I mean, tell me again if I'm wrong. This is a complex social problem because, as you say, it does happen in private, and we've certainly heard the history of people who come and speak out about it happening to them. When they do, in the first place, not being believed, or maybe even not being taken seriously sometimes about it. This campaign, I suppose, again, could be about lessening the stigma of it too. And if it's happening to you, tell someone, we will believe you, and there is help for you to get out of the situation you're in.
I have a stat that deals with that a little bit. And this is from, I think it was Statistics Canada. In 34% of cases, people who have experienced intimate partner violence don't speak to anybody. That's 1 in 3. Don't speak to anyone. So if we can even raise that up, that's 1 in 3 or 34% of people that can now have their voice heard.
Yeah.
I think society has changed where we know that, yes, it's private, but we also know it's happening. So when we hear it, I think people are more likely to believe it. And I want people to know that, like, even as police, we believe it. Like, in the absence of evidence that it didn't happen, we believe it, right? And so that's what a police investigation does. And I think even from your perspective.
Yeah. What I was saying about intimate partner violence can look differently. Sometimes people don't even recognize they're being victims because they don't talk about it. They feel that it's something they don't want their friends to know about it, or their family. They want to keep for themselves. So they don't raise their voice. They don't access for help. And at the end, it can be fatal. So we want people to recognize those signs, find that there's help available, and also this is intergenerational.
Yeah.
So if there's a kid seeing their parents having these issues, that kid is going to grow with trauma. And we want to end that cycle. That's why we also need to involve kids. And there's also help for kids to talk about it, to talk about their emotions, and to deal with that, to avoid a next generation of more trauma and violence with their partner. So we want to invite that day, on October 1st, people to come and find what resources there's available in town. Not only the Women's Resource Society, there's Foundry as well. They help with a lot of mental health pieces for kids and teenagers, which is the next generation. And we're inviting more partners of the community to say and to show what they can do for people and to break that stigma and to talk about it.
So you mentioned October 1st. So you're having kind of an event on that day. Tell us a bit about that.
So we're having a kickoff. We're scheduled to be at Centennial Park. 5:30, we're hoping to have burgers and hot dogs so that people from the community can come. 6 o'clock, we're planning to have a program on the soundstage.
Yeah.
And part of that will be we're going to have a purple lighting.
Yeah.
So throughout the month, people will see purple lights throughout the city, and we're asking people to also partner by putting up purple, wearing purple, whatever it might look like. And at this event, we're also going to have people with lived experience be able to share some of their story so that people can hear something and they go, okay, maybe that's me. I'm not alone, right? Somebody, and to give hope too. There is hope to get out of that cycle as well.
So, and I think there's some more events kind of happening throughout the month that we can talk about as well in just a minute. But I also just wonder, someone listening now who says, I want to do something other than also coming on October 1st to learn more, but I want to do something now. Maybe I'm in a situation that could be intimate partner violence. I definitely know it is. I have a friend or a relative who is pretty clearly going through something and they're not getting out of the situation. For those people listening right now, what are some of the things they should be doing? What are the resources available to them in terms of who to call, who to reach out to change their situation?
Well, one of those is Women's Resource Society. If we cannot help directly, we can direct that person to the best place for them, depending on their situation. Foundry for kids and teenagers, Community Bridge, they have Myopy Transition House as well. I know there's Children and Youth Peace Program, there's Victim Services with the RCMP, to mention some of them.
I see. So, I mean, RCMP is a good first call too, I suppose.
Often we're the last call.
Yeah.
And I understand that. In a lot of situations, someone experiences intimate partner violence anywhere from 17 to 34 times before they make a report.
Yes.
That's staggering. We would love to lower those numbers so that individuals, families don't have to go through that. Yes, it can be a difficult process, but we want to be part of saving people out of that.
Yeah.
It's fantastic too, because the Women's Resource on their website has a whole list of resources that are available. It's kind of, I've gone there. It's a one-stop shop for resource list.
Yeah.
And then two, talk about it. That's one of the biggest things. If you know somebody that's going through it, I'll bet you they haven't talked to you about it, or they've talked very little. Try to talk to them. Make a bit of a plan. What can we do? What are you willing to do?
Yeah.
What can I do to support you? I believe you, like you said before. What are steps that we can take? What are you willing to go through? And sometimes it's reaching out to some of the resources first to get that strength, to be heard, to know that they're not alone, to build the courage to take next steps. It's not usually an easy one and done.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a process.
Yeah, we see that a lot. People coming, and I want to mention this again, it's not only women. We also have men coming.
Yeah.
And they make multiple visits and then talk to us multiple times until they finally take a step, because it takes a lot of courage to do something about it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So we mentioned October 1st, the event at Centennial Park. What was the time for that, by the way, again?
So the plan is 5:30 burgers and hot dogs, and then 6 o'clock the program will start.
Yeah.
And that kicks off the month of October for us.
Yeah.
We're hoping to about once a week throughout the time of October have various events, partnering into community events where people are already gathering or meeting. We have been actively talking to the Huskies and to the Flyers to see if we can be at some of the games. We've got permission already to be at the high school. There, our focus more will be healthy relationships, but being able to have those conversations. We're looking to reach out to the college as well, too, and possibly even the farmers market, places where the public is already meeting and we can be a visible presence.
Absolutely. All right. Oh, and
I want to mention, we created a Facebook page. It's very new. It's called Purple Light Nights for St. John. So we will be posting there resources, more information about October 1st. Since this is a partnership, it's not managed just by one organization. So we're all going to be adding information there to know more about this.
Okay. All right. So we're going to have an eye out for purple lights throughout the city throughout the month of October. We're going to attend the October 1st event. Anything else you want to say to people listening before you go, just about this issue? And again, if you can help, what you should do?
I think there's even just as we talk about that month, the big thing is, like we said, awareness. It's bringing it to the forefront instead of it always being hidden. Wear purple, right? People might ask, why are you wearing purple? If you wear purple a bunch of days in a row or something, why are you wearing purple? And hopefully they connect it to seeing the lights and stuff like that. I mean, we realize it happens all through the year.
Yeah. It's not just October.
It's not just October. But being able to do that, put lights on your house where, say, somebody feels like they're running away from home. A purple light in the month of October, that could be significant as a safe house too, right? If they need to go somewhere. Things like that. If they want to come, we may be looking for people to help with the barbecue. If they want to be a part of that evening, even on the 1st, reach out to one of us. Maybe we can find a place for them to participate as well, too.
Okay. All right. And again, the Facebook page, Steph, tell us about that one more time.
Purple Light Nights for St. John.
Okay. And again, the Women's Resource Society, not the only place where you can get help, But as Constable Neustaeter said, you go to their website, which is
fsjwrs.ca.
Yeah.
And we have a place there like emergency contact, and that's when we have the list.
Yeah. And again, all the info is there to find out more. All right. Well, thank you both for coming here to talk a bit about this. We'll follow along as the month goes on, and hope some people learn some things about this. So thank you very much for your time today.
Appreciate you having us.
Thank you for having
You're
us.
very welcome. Again, that's Steph Albornoz and Constable Chad Neustaeter with the Fort St. John RCMP here to talk about the Purple Night Light campaign. We'll be right back to talk about Stage North and all the things they have going on right after this on This Week in the Peace.
Get ready, Fort St. John.
Because your Huskies are coming up on October the 8th at 8 p.m. at the North Peace Arena.
To get your tickets or to see their full season schedule, visit fsjhuskies.com.
Blankets, hoodies, fireplaces. They're all great for staying warm this winter. But if you want to immerse yourself in warmth, head to Arctic Spas Fort St. John. Canadian made for the world's harshest climates, Arctic Spas are the best-selling hot tub in Canada, and you'll save the PST on all new spas. Stop in and see their lineup of in-stock tubs today at Arctic Spas Fort St. John. Locally family-owned and operated in the BC Peace since 1998 on 100th Street and at ArcticHotTubsFortSt.John.com.
Ready to move into a new home without the wait? Jandel Homes has spec and show homes available for immediate delivery. And during our show home clearance sale, you could save thousands. Explore a variety of beautifully finished homes with modern layouts, stylish finishes, and all the features you've been dreaming of. Don't wait. These homes are ready to go, and the savings won't last long. Start living your dream today with Jandel Homes. Visit jandelhomes.com or call now to get started.
Avenir Energy, your trusted local propane supplier. Looking for safe, reliable propane delivery and outstanding customer service? Look no further than Avenir Energy. We're proud to offer dependable propane delivery through our coast-to-coast Canadian network. Thinking of switching providers for your home or just need a top-up? Choose the company that puts you first. Choose Avenir Energy. Visit Avenir Energy's branches in Fort St. John or Dawson Creek today, or learn more at avenirenergy.ca.
What is energy? Sure, we can talk about kilowatts and efficiency, but what is it really for us as people?
It's warming up the house when it's chilly.
It's powering and sterilizing medical tools for our doctors and nurses.
It's firing up a barbecue to enjoy some delicious salmon.
At Enbridge, we know that energy is more than just technical jargon. It's about creating experiences and building our economy. And for nearly 70 years, we've helped fuel what matters most to BC.
Enbridge. Tomorrow is on.
You can watch this show live on Facebook, catch the replays at energeticcity.ca, or be part of the show by texting your thoughts to the Fort City Chrysler line at 250-787-2222.
Welcome back to This Week in the Peace. I am Steve Berard. Right now, we're just trying to get a hold of Ted Sloan, the president of the Stage North Theater Society. Excuse me. We're just having some technical difficulties, and we will be right back in just a couple of minutes.
Need a place to stay in Fort St. John that's easier than renting an apartment? At Motel 6 Fort St. John, you get all the convenience without the commitment. No long-term leases, no extra utility bills, just fully furnished rooms with free Wi-Fi, laundry facilities, and parking, all in the heart of downtown, near shopping, groceries, and restaurants. With flexible monthly rates, Motel 6 makes long-term living simple, affordable, and stress-free. Call 250-785-6647 and reserve your room today.
Get ready because the next Fort St. John Métis Society's weekly bingo will be this Tuesday at 7 p.m. We'll be playing 4 games this week, $400 for the straight line, $500 for the M, $800 for the big picture frame, and a blackout jackpot worth $1,800. Grab your blue cards for just $5 at the Fort St. John Métis Society office, the Canadian Grind, and more locations listed at moosefm.ca/bingo. Don't miss the Fort St. John Métis Society's weekly bingo this Tuesday at 7 p.m. at moosefm.ca/bingo. Must be 19 plus. Use your game sense. Know your limit. Play within it. BC Gaming Event License Number 165020.
Peaceland Oilfield Services has been providing safe and reliable oilfield services across Western Canada since 2012. From fluid hauling to vac trucks, welding and fabrication to NGL hauling, you can always count on Peaceland Oilfield Services to deliver. Discover their comprehensive suite of services that support oilfield exploration, drilling production, and processing operations. Boost your production. Contact locally owned and operated Peaceland Oilfield Services today. Visit peaceland-oilfield.com.
What's up, Doc?
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Yeah? We really don't spend too much time in these pots, Doc. I'm thinking you might want to...
Shh! You'll blow my cover. Rumor has it that Veronica's closet has rabbits.
I don't think those are the rabbits you're looking for, Doc.
For toys, adult games, lube, lingerie, massage oils, and yes, even rabbits. Stop into Veronica's Closet, your all-grown-up store in the Mackenzie Mall.
When someone searches best pizza near me, you need your business at the top. And you need it there at a cost-effective price. Totally awesome. Moose Media's Google search experts fine-tune keywords, bids, and ad copy so every click works harder. We monitor performance, test variations, and optimize in real time, so your budget delivers maximum results without surprises. Visit moosemediafsj.ca or call 250-787-7100.
Find all your Bible journaling tools at Peaceful Pages. Stop in today and see their selection of Bible tabs, Bible safe pens, markers, and more. Plus, Bibles, devotionals, and faith-based books. Peaceful Pages Christian Bookstore, a peaceful place to escape. Open Tuesday to Saturday on 101 Avenue, Fort St. John.
You can watch this show live on Facebook, catch the replays at energeticcity.ca, or be part of the show by texting your thoughts to the Fort City Chrysler line at 250-787-2222.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Steve Berard. The Stage North Theatre Society has tickets on sale now for a production that's set to hit the North Peace Cultural Center stage in just a few weeks. Plus, auditions start soon for its second musical of the season. To talk all about it, we've got the Society's president, Ted Sloan, in the studio with us today. Ted, how are you doing today?
I'm excited. I'm well. I'm doing okay.
Awesome.
How are you doing?
Glad to hear. So we're talking today. We've got a couple things on our list. First of all, you guys have a show coming up in a couple of weeks called Peace Country Harvest. For people who maybe haven't heard, can you give us a very quick rundown of the show?
I would love to. I'm super, super proud of the show. Okay. So last year, the journey starts there. You may have remembered we did Peace Country Christmas, a Hallmark parody musical, where two local playwrights, Ben Bilodeau, Taylor Hastings, they wrote an homage to Fort St. John and then used the Hallmark movie parody musical format to display it. So that means they used popular songs, they changed the lyrics, they made it Hallmark, and it turned out to be this really awesome smash hit about how much Fort St. John is great. And they were so inspired by it that they were like, let's do it again. And so this one is another, it's Peace Country Harvest, another Hallmark parody musical. And it's similar in the way that popular songs change the lyrics ever so slightly to suit Fort St. John. A Hallmark parody, so falls in love, there's heartbreak, and it's set this time in fall. And actually it's really cool because Taylor and Ben, they were really inspired after the last one, so they reached out to some local organizations like the Wilms Sunflower Field, and so a lot of the action takes place at the Wilms Sunflower Place. So it's really sweet. It's another love letter to Fort St. John. It is really funny. There's some very, very talented people in it. They're all talented. And it's just another good way to be like, Fort St. John, that's funny. Oh, I got that joke. Oh, theater. So it's going to be a hoot.
Awesome. Okay. Can you give me a quick rundown of what the show dates and ticket prices and stuff are going to be?
Yeah, so it's at the end of October, and so essentially the show dates will be the last 2 weekends in October. And I don't have my notes, I'm so sorry, but essentially if you go to the Cultural Center, you'll notice that it will be Friday, Saturday, and then the last weekend, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They do have matinee. Tickets, I think, are around $25 or so. It's all available at npcc.bc.ca. And it's like, hey, what do you want to do for Halloween? I don't know. Let's dress up. Let's go to the theater. Or, hey, if there's a matinee show, let's take the kids, go to the theater, because it is a kid-friendly show. There is kids in the show. One of the kids hits someone with a tractor. It's very funny. It sounds funnier. It is funnier than it sounds. But yeah, so it's at the end of October. You will really want to see this one.
Okay, awesome. And you said it's a family-friendly show. For people who weren't able to make it out for the previous Hallmark Parody Musical in the Christmas time, is this a direct continuation, or are people going to be able to understand the plot if they weren't able to see that one?
I love that you asked that. We have joked about the Hallmark cinematic universe. You don't have to see the first one to have seen the second. There's interestingly enough, there's one through line, and that person could tell you about it on their own time if they wanted. But they're similar, but they're not. You don't have to know one to know the other. You can just enjoy them as they are.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. I want to transition for a moment now from talking about a show that people can see to a show that people will be able to take part in soon. You guys have auditions starting next week for 9 to 5, right?
Yeah, and that's going to be fun. So for those of you who, and this is the one that I know most about because I'm directing it. So 9 to 5 was originally the movie. Most people know it as the Dolly Parton movie, but had really big names in there: Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Dolly Parton. Dolly fell in love with it so much she turned it into a musical. And so it follows these three women, 70s or so, as they go through the corporate ladder. And it's a bonkers musical in the sense that they're like, hey, maybe we should take over the company. Maybe we should kill our boss. And that sounds weird, but it is really catchy. It's really fun. It's a huge cast. And so it's a great thing to either be part of, like to audition or to watch. And the big thing that we'd really like to say, because a lot of people tell us in Stage North, how do I get on stage? I want to audition. I want to try, but I'm nervous. So we say just show up. And so basically I help run the auditions. We walk you through it because, it's nervous. It's scary to get in front of a director and go, and here I am. I hope you like it. So what we do is we ask you to prepare 30 seconds of a song. Any song. We've had people sing ABCs. We've had people sing some musical songs. We've had people sing the national anthem. And then basically I say, okay, now here's a script. You've never seen it before. I've just seen it. And that way you're starting at level 1.
Right.
And then I coach you through it. So it's not a how good are you? It's a hey, tell me about your experience in theater. And then my job as a director is to take that and to grow it. Never to go, that's good or that's bad. That's not cool. But to go, you're in here, that's the hardest part. Let's make sure that you have a good time.
Okay, for sure. Awesome. For the auditions that are coming up, I believe the first audition date is going to be is it on Monday? I believe it's on Monday.
Well, it's a bit of a wonky one because the first dance audition is actually a Wednesday. So you have to go to what's called a dance call. Yeah. So next Wednesday at the Stage North space from 7 to 8, our choreographer is going to teach people some dancing.
Okay.
And again, if you're like, I can't dance, she knows if you we make it easy. So that way we can just get people moving.
Right.
So you have to go to one of those so that we can see. And then starting, there are some that are this weekend. However, it was so exciting. They all filled up. But next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 11 to 4, there's auditions there. And those ones, you just show up. You don't have to take a slot. You don't have to email ahead of time. You can just show up to where they are, and then there might be a little bit of a line. Sometimes they're not, but you just show up, and then we'll audition you there.
Okay, for sure. Are there any age range restrictions for people who are interested in auditioning? I know it said when I looked online that it was 18 plus only, but are there any specific age ranges you guys are looking to fill for the show?
No, you're right about that 18 plus. This is the catch-22. Because sometimes we say 18 plus and people are like, ugh. But I mean, the show does have some adult themes. For instance, they do talk about killing their boss. It is also a show about, to get real, it's about sexual harassment. And so there's some uncomfortable stuff there. And it is a comedy. They talk about, how to make it better. But because of that, we're going to make sure that people who are auditioning are generally 18 and over. Just we don't want to put anyone in a weird spot.
Yeah,
Other
for
than
sure.
that, yeah. Other than that, I mean, last year we were lucky enough. We had someone who was in their 80s audition. We had people who were young audition. So it's just if you show up, we'll probably find you a spot.
Okay, awesome. Talking about, people who are maybe nervous for their first audition, I know that you've only got a few minutes left here, but if I want to talk about this really quickly, tonight at Stage North Space 2, you guys do have a couple of workshops, one of which, if I remember correctly, was auditioning for Musicals 101. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so Emery Micah, who directs a lot of shows for Stage North, really was gracious and was like, hey, some people are nervous. So she's going to host that workshop, and it just is like a way to get ready to audition before you have to do the big pressurized one. So it's a really safe situation. She walks you through, she gives some tips, she helps you out. And it's just kind of a nice thing to go, okay, I'm going to rip that Band-Aid off. Oh, that is actually not as bad as I thought it was. So it's a good way to practice without being in a pressure situation of the actual audition. And then after that one, if you're like, well, I kind of want to stay and learn how to dance, she's going to teach some basic choreography, and then you get to learn the dance part. So it's a good test, or a good shaking off some rust so that you can feel what it's like before you dive right in.
Okay, awesome. Sounds like a great time. I've gone over everything on my list here. Is there anything else you want to add while we still have you here, Ted?
We're just super excited that the community has shown up in so many numbers. If people are looking for info, the best thing to do is to look up Stage North on Facebook, or stagenorth.ca is our website. We're super pumped to see you up there, and we want to help you get there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Ted. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you later.
Gotcha. That was Ted Sloan with the Stage North Theater Society. Big thank you again to Constable Chad Neustaeter and Estefania Albornoz for joining us on This Week in the Piece, and thank you for tuning in.
And by the way, he was talking about me. I'm the through line. I'm in this play as well, playing myself again. So if that gets you out, great. Anyway, you can listen to the show again by checking out the podcast at energeticcity.ca/podcast. We'll store this in future episodes of the show there as we make them, and make sure you take some time for our other locally produced podcast, which is wonderful. It's called Before the Piece. That's our show. I'm Dub Craig.
And I'm Steve Berard. Be well.
Join us again next Friday morning at 10 for another edition of This Week in the Piece, your weekly talk show dedicated to the people, events, and news of BC's Peace Region. Or you can listen to this podcast again at